Hello guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls. It's me, Big Mike, coming at you with a special episode of Big Mike's Big Universe, in which we will be previewing the second Congressional UAP hearing happening on Wednesday, November 12th at 11:30 a.m. In this video, we'll be looking at the press release, at the witnesses that will be there, and lastly, what we can expect at this hearing. Now, a couple things before we jump into this video. Firstly, my political disclaimer. Just because I mention or discuss a politician here does not mean I agree, condone, support, or endorse their politics, opinions, or views. The same is true of any political party I may mention. I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Libertarian, and I'm not a member of the Green Party. I consider myself just to be a partyless leftist. And this shouldn't even matter anyway, because my channel is not a political channel. And lastly, before jumping into the video, I just want to remind you lovely guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls that I do have a Ko-fi account. And for the time being, any donation I receive will go towards helping me to build or buy a better computer, which in turn is going to help me to be able to improve my videos, to try to do different types of videos and maybe even work or collab with some of my friends. Maybe play some games with them for you lovely guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls. But if you can or don't want to, I completely understand. Money's tight and time's hard for many people. I just love the fact that you lovely guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls are here watching this video. But if you would like to help, it would greatly help the channel, and you can do so at the link below. And without further ado, let's jump into the video, fam. So let's start off by talking about the hearing itself. This week's hearing is a follow-up to last year's earth-shattering hearing that was chaired by Representative Burchett and Representative Anna Paulina Luna. As a brief reminder, it was at last year's hearing that David Grush, a former high-ranking intelligence official and whistleblower who testified under oath that they had first-hand encounters or knowledge about secret government programs involving technology that is non-human. Now, in regards to this hearing, Representatives Mace and Grothman had issued the following press release. It reads, "The Subcommittee on Cybersecurity, Information Technology, and Government Innovation, Chairwoman Nancy Mace, and Subcommittee on National Security, the Border and Foreign Affairs Chairwoman Glenn Grothman, will hold a joint hearing titled Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, Exposing the Truth. This second hearing on the topic of unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs, will attempt to further pull back the curtain on secret UAP research programs conducted by the United States government and undisclosed findings they have yielded. The hearing will examine the Department of Defense's, or DoD's, reluctance to appropriately declassify material on UAPs, and ways to make sure the American public is better informed on this topic. This is our second hearing on the topic of UAPs, and the American people are tired of the obfuscation and refusal to release information by the federal government. Americans deserve to understand what the government has learned about UAP sightings and the nature of any potential threats these phenomena pose. We can only ensure that understanding by providing consistent, systematic transparency. We look forward to hearing from expert witnesses on ways to shed more light and bring greater accountability to this issue," said Mace and Grothman. Expounding on this, Representative Burchett, a member of the subcommittee, said, "The Pentagon and Washington bureaucrats have kept this information hidden for decades, and we're finally going to shed some light on it. We're bringing in credible witnesses who can provide public testimony, because the American people deserve to know the truth, and we're done with the cover-ups." Now let's talk about the witnesses. While the committee has not released details on the cases to be presented at the hearing, it has provided the list of witnesses. These 4 witnesses include Tim Gallaudet, Louis Elizondo, Michael Gold, and Michael Shellenberger. And I want to give some background information on each one of them. First, let's talk about Tim Gallaudet. Timothy Cole Gallaudet is an American oceanographer and retired Rear Admiral in the United States Navy. Gallaudet worked for the United States Department of Commerce as the Acting Undersecretary of Commerce for Oceans and Atmosphere and Acting Administrator of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. As of 2024, he is the CEO of Ocean STL Consulting, LLC, and hosts the American Blue Economy podcast. In the past, he has shared accounts from submariners who had run-ins with unidentified submerged objects, which now also fall under the UAP umbrella. He says he's seen footage of unidentified anomalous phenomenon while on active duty in the United States Navy, and has expressed support for David Grush's whistleblower claims in the United States Congress, calling for the destigmatization of the subject across science, the military, and the general public. He is on the advisory board of Americans for Safe Aerospace, which describes itself as a military pilot-led nonprofit organization focused on UAP. He is a research affiliate with Avi Loeb's Galileo project that searches for evidence of extraterrestrial technology and artifacts. According to Gallaudet, one 1980s incident involved a U.S. submarine that detected an unidentified, fast-approaching object mistaken for a Russian torpedo, which then slowed, circled, and trailed the vessel before quickly departing. Gallaudet noted that this object's behavior and characteristics couldn't be explained by current or past technology. Next is Luis Elizondo, popularly known as Lou Elizondo. He's an author and former Department of Defense official. The presence of Luis Elizondo, former director of the United States government's previous UAP program, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, AATIP, will provide him with an opportunity to discuss the threats he has faced since leaving the government service and publicly sharing his experiences of UAP interfering with sensitive United States defense assets. Speaking to Liberation Times, Elizondo stated, "The time has come for our elected officials to be informed on the reality regarding the UAP issue and the long-standing campaign by some in our government to hide the truth. To do this, we will need everyone's support so we can clear a path for more whistleblowers to feel safe and come forward with what they know. Whether you agree with my position or not, I consider the 13th of November to be your day." Next, we're going to look at Michael Gold. Mike Gold is the Chief Growth Officer at Redwire and former NASA Associate Administrator for the Office of International and Interagency Relations. He was also responsible for providing strategic direction to the Office of General Counsel and supporting NASA's LEO commercialization efforts. Prior to joining NASA, Mr. Gold was the Vice President of Civil Space at Maxar Technologies and was also General Counsel for the company's Radiant Solutions business unit. Additionally, Mr. Gold spent 13 years at Bigelow Aerospace, where he established the company's Washington office, oversaw the launches of its Genesis 1 and 2 spacecraft, and received a team award from NASA for his contributions to the Bigelow Expandable Activity Module. Gold's former boss, Robert Bigelow, played a key role in efforts to transfer materials of advanced non-human origin from Lockheed Martin to a program within the Defense Intelligence Agency, or DIA, known as the Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Applications Program, also known as ALSAP. When efforts failed, those involved in the ALSAP helped establish a Prospective Special Access Program, or PSAP, within the Department of Homeland Security as an alternative means to accomplish the transfer. That effort also failed. Multiple sources informed Liberation Times that these material transfer efforts were blocked by former CIA Director of Science and Technology Glenn Gaffney when he held the position. Gaffney's alleged interference in the material transfer left those involved, including the now-deceased James Ryder, former vice president of Lockheed Martin Space Systems, who is said to have led efforts within Lockheed Martin, feeling threatened due to the harshness of exchanges with CIA officials. Ultimately, Liberation Times understands that the transfer was blocked by Gaffney, as the CIA's Directorate of Technology remains the original custodian of the alleged non-human materials, which Lockheed Martin may still possess to this day. We're going to touch a bit on this story in the next section when we talk about what we can expect at the hearing. But for now, let's turn our attention to Michael Shellenberger. Michael Shellenberger is an American independent journalist known for his work reporting on issues related to homelessness, free speech, and the environment, and is the founder of Public, A few weeks ago, he stated a whistleblower had come forward alleging that the United States government has a secret unacknowledged special access program, or USAP, known as Immaculate Constellation, a decades-long program dealing with unidentified anomalous phenomenon. The whistleblower stated that there are people within both the intelligence community and the military that have held back information regarding UAPs, which violates the Constitution. There's a growing body of evidence that the government is not being transparent about what it knows about UAPs, Shellenberger explained. According to the whistleblower, Immaculate Constellation was created by the Department of Defense in 2017 in the wake of a report by the New York Times revealing another program referred to as the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. Immaculate Constellation was reportedly established to detect and quarantine the military's most compelling UAP imagery, videos, eyewitness accounts, and electronic sensor evidence. Lastly, let's talk about what we can expect from this hearing. Now, a couple things I'm going to bring up before we dive into this part. First, not much has been said of what we can expect. Still, there are a couple things that can be gleaned from what we do know. And secondly, I think it's probably a good idea to heed Representative Burchett's words he said about the first hearing, because I feel like it's definitely going to be applicable here. He said, "We're not bringing little green men or flying saucers into the hearing. Sorry to disappoint about half of y'all. We're just going to get to the facts." Now on to the things that we can expect that can be gleaned from the information that we do know about the hearing. And one thing I think is that we can expect this hearing to be much broader in scope. The talk at the last hearing centered around UAP that were airborne. However, this time around, with the inclusion of Tim Gallaudet, we can expect this discussion to be expanded to include USOs. Also, at the last hearing, all three of the witnesses had a military background. Whereas this time around, we have 4 witnesses, each with very different backgrounds, as well as experiences. And so each will bring something unique to the table. Some insiders are, according to Liberation Times, hoping that the witnesses, likely here referring to Michael Gold in particular, are pressed on Gaffney's alleged involvement as a UAP legacy program gatekeeper. And lastly, it is understood, according to Liberation Times, that this hearing is expected to be the first of many on the UAP topic in the House of Representatives, with the aim of establishing a process similar to the Church Committee, which investigated intelligence community abuses in the 1970s. And that's it for this video. Depending on how the congressional hearing goes, I may have another video out this week, especially if any big bombshells drop at the hearing. So be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, I will have a follow-up video at my normal time. So what do you think about the hearing? Are you excited for it? The hearing will be open to the public and will be live streamed online at oversight.house.gov. I'll leave a link below. Do you plan to watch it? It's going to be late in my part of the world, but I plan to stay up to watch it. And I'm hoping we're going to find out something good and something juicy, fam. And with that, we'll call the video here. So special thanks to Fran, who does a wonderful job of doing my art. A special thanks to all of my friends on Twitter. I wouldn't be here without you all. And a special thanks to all of you for watching this video. Please like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, and please leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. And if you like my videos, please subscribe and turn your notifications on. Until next time, fam, remember, just be yourself and you'll be awesome. Peace out!